Hi grade 5-6, welcome back to art for term 3. For the start of the term we have a project that runs for 4 weeks together and we are looking at the elements of art. Now the elements of art, there are 7 of them and you might remember this from the last few weeks of term. So we have colour, we have line, form, texture, shape, value and space. So we're going to be looking at each of them, maybe 2 a week, but to start with we are going to focus on line and we are going to be making a booklet. Now I'm going to give you a little example before I start and show you what the end product would be at the end of 4 weeks. But grade 5-6, we are not quite there yet. So what you need to do is you need to have picked up your take-home pack from school. And in it you will find that I had made you a really long, thick paper that I folded in half for you. Now you need this and you need to keep it safe. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is, at the moment this is folded in half. We need to make sure that there are 8 equal sections. So the best way to do that is fold it back in half and then you're folding this in half again. Okay, nice and neat. If I undo it, I have 4. So I'm going to fold it back. I need 8, so I'm going to fold it again. Make sure the edges line up. Really important. Okay, now we undo, you can see that you have 8 perfect sections. So grade 5-6, now I have folded this into 8 equal sections. I'm going to show you what each one will be, but today we're only working on the first 2. So the first one we will be working on is the front cover. So it's going to be simple, to the point, it's going to have your name and the topic. The next one we'll be doing today is line. So this panel is only going to be line. As we move on throughout the weeks, the next will be colour, value. Now I'm going to explain these more next week, so we don't need to worry about them. Texture will be going here. Shape, space, and finally form, which I think is maybe one of the hardest ones, will be the end. So we'll leave that to week 4. So we're not going to worry about any of those ones. We are just focusing on these 2 this week. I've gone ahead and started my front cover. I've done a basic outline with my title, 7 Elements of Art, and my name. You can put your class code, you can do anything you like. It could be in cursive writing, block writing, can be anything, but it's your front cover and this is a good copy, so it needs to be really nice and neat. I'm going to go ahead and add some colour now with some textures. I finished adding colour to my front cover. Now you might want to colour in the background or have something completely different, and that is absolutely fine. This is where you're expressing yourself in your front cover, and this is the first thing people are going to see once they undo your booklet of your 7 Elements of Art. Before we move on to our section online, we need to do one more thing, and we will need a little bit of cardboard or a bit of paper that we're going to trace around and a pencil. You'll also need a pair of scissors. So we need to decide on a simple shape to draw in the middle of each of these sections. You might notice that in the picture that I've shown you, there's a reoccurring image in each picture to tie our elements of art in together. So I want it to be simple, not too difficult. So here are some examples. I cut out a simple house, and so I would trace this in every single one. The reason why I'm making you make a little bit of a shape to trace around is so that it's identical. That's really important. Or maybe something like a flower. The harder this is to trace, the harder it is going to be. So keep it something simple. I finished tracing now my little house in each section, and each of them are identical. So I can put that aside, I'm not going to use it anymore, and now we're going to learn a little bit more about line. The next part of our elements of art is looking at line. Now line is really important in artwork. It's pretty much in every single painting, every single drawing, because the artist uses a continuous line, a dotted line, dashed line, anything to create their artwork. So an example of that could be, maybe we have a wavy line, maybe we have a dashed line. Dots classify as line as well. Maybe it's a thin line, or maybe the artist has combined lines to make a thicker line. Okay, so line is super important, and for the next part we are only going to be using a black texter, a black marker, a black pen to complete our line section of our Elements of Art book. So only using a black marker, I'm going to start decorating this only using line. I'm going to trace around my house, and then I might add some details just using this pen. So grade 5-6, now I have added my line drawing to this first section. So you can see I've used all different types of lines. Some are thin, some are thick. I'm losing my house a little bit, so I'm just going to use a thicker pen to go around the edge of my house, so it pops out of my page a little more. Okay, grade 5-6, you're done for this week. You need to have finished your front cover and your line drawing. Leave the other ones blank. We're coming back to it next week. Your task now is to upload a little bit of information, just a short video. Show me your front cover and your line drawing to Flipgrid. I need you to keep up each week because next week we're doing the next two. This is a good copy, so keep it somewhere safe and we'll come back to it next week. Bye.